It's Big Frank in the morning, Jay Cherie keeping it going. We got them hot topics, local news, and BGC flowing. We got Big Kev on the air, Dark Knight flying in here. It's Fire 716 and we rocking it here. Hey.
Fire 716, your boy Big Frank. I'm back like I never left. And those who couldn't hear us before, you hear us now because back then you didn't want me. Now I'm hot. You all own me. It's going down, Fire 716. My homegirl Jay Cherie, D-Money Mac,
In the building.
Big Rowdy in the building. What it is, all the way from internationally known by the microphone, Canada. No matter how y'all feeling this morning?
I'm good. I'm clowning Kevin. Yeah, I'm definitely clowning Kevin because you post on Facebook but you ain't here.
Yeah. Kevin didn't wake up this morning. Failure. And we called him several times this morning, and he still didn't.
Still was not here.
Didn't pull up. We're in a new location,
yes.
Which is a good feeling. Do me a favor. Talk with me, Riley, one time.
Hey, hello. It's Diaza.
Makes sense.
Check one, check two.
That wasn't in my ears, and I had to figure out why. But I got it.
Yeah.
But that should be online. Everybody should be heard.
We're
proper.
Good. You can hear.
Valid. How was y'all weekend?
So my weekend was good. I'm trying to eliminate the distractions, and it's hard because I was playing a video game for like hours, and I was like, okay, this is it. This is why you ain't got no money because you ain't working on what you're supposed to do.
Get out my BGC.
But it was a good weekend. I love the weather was so nice. I was just
No
sitting
valid.
outside.
Valid.
I had to go for a walk just to go for a walk. Like it was so nice. I can't wait for summer.
I had to go for a walk just to go for a walk.
Yes.
That's how nice it was. I like that.
that. I can't wait. I'm excited for the summertime. Like I need spring and summer to be here already because winter is not it.
Yeah. I don't talk about my weekend. It was it was intense. It was just a lot. And Friday night, the Friday transition, then Saturday, I cognitively couldn't get it together. Like
It just wasn't happening.
everything was done, but it was just not to the expertise and yep, that word professionalism required. Because I was just like, you know what, this is what I got, and this is what it is, and I'm gonna just make it do what it do. I got some light rest though, so that's good news.
Yes,
Good.
light rest.
Right.
Miracles happen if you let it.
Yes. Frank doesn't sleep. He just goes and goes and goes and
Frank sleeps
Yes.
for 4 hours a week.
4 hours a week.
Yeah.
You know what? And I want to change it, but what I realize is that when I go, I don't know why it looks like that. That's really intense. Like I want to rest some days, but it's like when I go to lay down, my mind is like, "There's things to do.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Why are you here? There's a wall to be built. There's a floor to be laid. There's a building to organize. There's kids to raise. Like what are you doing here?" But
There's kids to raise.
but I'm trying. I'm gonna try. I think I'm gonna try to come up with a plan of. And this is my failure. Now I'll confess this: not efficiently planning. And I think that's something that even in my household we have to do because I wing it. I'm a great winger, not a swinger, but a winger, like making things happen and just being exhausted. And then my wife was like, "You too tired for us." You're absolutely right. But
You're absolutely
like when I get home, it's like, "Oh, I want some me time." Kids get time, and then I descended into a slumber. But I think that having a plan of action is what I'm working on, which is something that's different for me.
I think definitely having a plan of action. My problem is that I procrastinate, but in my procrastination, I'm stressing about what I need to do. And then it's like making me more procrastinate.
Absolutely.
So I understand that. But definitely I think a plan of action. I feel like that's good for everybody. Figuring out what you're gonna do and actually my problem is just sticking to it. I'll have a whole plan. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And then I get to like the second thing, and I'm like, I need a break.
No, it'd be like that.
My weekend was in school. Every week. Further makes me want to up my charges when I actually pass my like I'm just understanding. I understand the value of sacrifice, but I'm also understanding by
Here are the facts.
So I've been trying to put more there.
It's one of those things like, man, some weeks are consistent every day videos, sometimes 2 videos a day. But lately,
some of them don't get a lot of views.
I feel like that's normal. Like I've posted videos sometimes on TikTok. It can range from 200 views to 5,000.
Okay, yeah, but I was like getting 6, 9. Oh, but I'm sorry, I'm not at your numbers.
Oh.
I only get like 200 views. 200 views is my baseline. Okay, like
it increases. Just give it time.
Sure.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
Jay Cherie, it's on you.
What's good, everybody? You already know what time it is. It is Big Girl Chronicles, and on this we in the new studio. Woo-woo. Fresh Monday. I'm going to talk about you can't put time into one thing and expect something else. So let me explain to you what I mean. This weekend I was in class because education doesn't stop even on the weekends, even when you want it to. And when I got out of school, I would go home and binge watch Grace and Frankie. Don't judge me, melanated people. It's a really good show. But I was binge watching Grace and Frankie from the beginning of the seasons, and now I'm on season 5, and it's only Monday. So you can see how much I was binge watching. And while I was in my place where God talks to me the most, my bathroom, God was like, you can spend all this time watching TV, but you can't spend all this time with me, but you expect me to move things for you. And I was like, so we going hard to the paint in the bathroom. But it made me, it really checked me, and it was, okay, you're judging me, that's fine. It really made me go into a mind frame of how much time have I invested in binge watching on stuff or doing other things and not really spending time with God, but expecting God to move mountains. How much research have I done about psychopaths and serial killers that wasn't really needed for school, it was just for therapeutic reasons, and I didn't spend that time spending time with God. Like, we have to ask ourselves, why are we asking God for so much stuff and we're not even investing or putting that much time into the person that can actually do it for you? Sure. Me being a believer, I understand the value of being in the presence of God, but lately I have not. And if my pastor's watching, my bad. I have not, because I've been trying to maintain my mental space and maintain to make sure I'm doing self-care, but my self-care, it needs to involve more of God and less of outside things. And we have to get to the point where we can't expect us to put all of our energy into one thing, but expect other things to flourish. You can't, say, I'm gonna put all my energy into watching TV, but you're wondering why procrastination is still an issue, or you still haven't wrote that book, or you still haven't launched that sneaker line, or you still haven't launched that clothing line, you still haven't opened up your business. You are actually asking for insane results. You can't put some energy into something and expect other things to produce. For me, I can't continue to keep putting energy into Grace and Frankie and the new season of Love is Blind season 4. And expect the Lord to move mountains, expect the Lord to fill me, expect the Lord to give me word, to encourage me, and even to give me the next directions of the next place that I'm going to if I'm not putting in the right time. So my question to the viewing audience is, what is your expectation, but where are you putting your time? Yeah. You can't say I'm working on myself, but the only thing you do is be under your boo. You really not working on you when you always with your boo. You can't say, well, I'm putting my time into my education, but you're not putting in the proper time to do your homework and you're studying and preparing. You can't say, I'm going across the nations to preach the gospel, and you're not studying other cultures. You have to understand where you are going, you need to prepare for. So ask yourself, where are you putting your time? Stop putting your time in other things and expecting results from other things. They will not produce. Because you're beautiful, you're intelligent, and you're graceful. You big people.
Yes. You know what? I totally understand that. I was actually, one of the things that I did this weekend was, I was like, something is off with my mood. And I couldn't figure out what more was off with my mood. And because I truly believe what you watch and what you listen to affects your mood. And the stuff I've been watching lately has been like, very not good. Very depressing, basically. Yeah. And so I was like, you know what? when I was watching this one guy who talks about like the Bible and how like he basically based his business off of King Solomon and how King Solomon did business and all this other stuff, but he's very motivational and he talks about a lot of things. I said, you know what? When I was watching him, I was doing so good. So let me stop watching TV and actually do something productive.
Yeah.
So I get it. I totally get it. I think it's hard sometimes too because you want to escape in a way, like, you know, it's not like I'm sure we watch Grace and Frankie, like it's fun.
Yeah.
So I feel the same. Like I was binge watching. I told y'all before, the Parkers. I watched the 5 seasons.
I understand why people love sidebar. I understand why people love the Parkers. I can't stand the Parkers.
Yeah.
Just because, and it's not because of the show. It's because literally a woman is begging this man to be with her. And the only reason why he gets with her is because she finds happiness in somebody else and then tries to come back to destroy her life. Like, I just think that's real. And we perpetuate this a lot. Like,
it's a real life thing.
It's so for me, the Parkers are like nails on chalkboard for me. Because I was like, you are consistently throwing yourself at a man who dogs you, who dishes you, who tells you that he don't want you, tells you you're not attractive. And as soon as you find happiness, you let this fool come in and destroy all this stuff.
Sounds like real life. I'm telling you, there's some people out there going through that as we speak.
Going for the education, trying to be a good mom, trying to be an example, trying to find love.
Yep.
Oh, black man. Listen.
So that's just my soapbox with Parkers. I just know. And plus she plus size, so it's real personal. Like, ma'am,
right.
Find somebody who will love all your crevices. Stop chasing Professor Ogilvy. It's not cute. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, it's going down this morning. We'll be right back with let's go right into it. Let's go right into times of the essence. The question of the day.
Yes.
I'm gonna say it right now. Black men don't cheat.
Lies.
We search and we find what needs to be done. That's
in the ways of cheating.
So the question of the day
is polygamy the cure for men to keep men from cheating? The second part is, would you want to know who the person is, or would you rather be in the dark?
Tell me if it's true.
You got some more polygamy.
Polygamy means being in a relationship with more than one person.
Oh, okay.
Having having 2 wives,
3 wives,
Yeah.
4 wives,
4 wives,
sister
2
wives.
girlfriends,
Yeah,
all that stuff.
that's polygamy.
The question that I must ask prior to it is the reason why we cheat, or the reason why someone decides to step out of. Now, I guess because it hit my head, so I'm gonna say it out loud.
Camera yourself.
I don't think it is a resolve, because just because you have 3, they can all neglect you the same. They can all.
Not you cheating on all 3 of us.
They all can have that same, what y'all call it, sister cycle. When y'all
sync
sync up, and everybody going through at the same time. I don't really think that's a resolve. I don't really agree with polygamy for several reasons. This is based off of somebody who I know who's involved in the life. And I met him one time, and he said, well, the big problem I have is they got more beef with each other than they do with me, because for them it's like who's gonna complete the task, who's gonna finish him, who's gonna do this, and am I enough, or why is she better than me than this? Like, there's a lot of more. There's more conflict among them than it is the male. So it's like, do you want the guy? So number 2. What's the layout of this land? Like, we all working, or is it still on me to provide for all 3 of y'all? Like, is y'all still? Am I still exhausted? Am I still tired? Am I still just overworked? Do we have an effective plan? Are y'all still looking for my money? And what is going on here in this polig? Okay, so I personally don't think it's secure, and because there's so many factors here.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm gonna intro. I don't know how I got here, but I watch a lot of time online, and they be like, "Oh, I was 6 months pregnant, and he cheated." Don't.
Save your marriage, Frank.
I do not agree yet. I understand how you can find yourself in this predicament. Have I? No. Will I? No. Kids coming through the vein again? We at a conclusion. But nevertheless, the lack of servitude of the cookie. And
The lack of servitude.
and the appetite still being present. And if you're not mature enough, you can find yourself in a situation or a circumstance and you find out, boom. But then in polygamy, I guess they all can be pregnant. They all can be. I just don't think this is a cure. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. But I understand what you're saying. I don't agree at all. I feel like polygamy is just, you are setting yourself up for a world of problems.
Yeah.
Number one, okay, men can barely take care of themselves. No offense to the men at the table, okay? But even having just one girlfriend or one wife, I feel like it's difficult for some men. So how are you gonna deal with two or three?
No, that's
Okay.
And then you have to look at the source of polygamy. So I just in my infinite research of a lot of polyamorous relationships, the cultural dynamic is different. So I like in following some polyamorous relationships of the Caucasus community. Mm-hmm. They are more scheduled and regimented. So they know like on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Betty Ann got him. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Rachel got him. Sunday and other holidays, like so they're very like scheduled, but in the process they're working or they're raising the kids. Where I'm noticing with a lot more black polyamorous relationships, it's kind of like they're winging it. So I can kind of see where the tension is. It's kind of just like, okay, but why can't these days be my days? And it's like, okay, but that day you was out of town, so I took your day, but now I want my, like, it's not as regimented. And also with the other polyamorous relationships with the Caucasus people is like usually 3 or more. Where a lot more people that I'm seeing with like black people is more like two women and one guy. It's very rare where I see the polyamorous relationship where it's a girl and 2 guys. It's out there.
Yeah,
but
I've seen a couple.
But like, so I think the structure of it has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
With that being said, I am firmly against polyamorous relationships just because I don't like to share.
You know what? That was the next thing.
I don't share. I don't like sharing my snacks. I don't like sharing some other stuff. I'm definitely not going to be sharing my man. I've waited way too long to be sharing him. I don't think it's a cure for cheating. I think it's giving a pass.
Right.
To putting it on the polyamory is putting it on the pass of I didn't cheat because 1, you know who it is, and 2, she lives in this house.
Right.
But I've actually seen a man cheat on his polyamorous girlfriends. So because they didn't want to bring another person in the house. So it was like I want 3 people, and they was like, nah. And so he went out and cheated on the polyamorous relationship because he wanted 3 girls instead of 2.
So and it's like for me, and it's like you're just not satisfied, and lust is never satisfied. So it's like, yeah, I got the 2, we're doing it a while, But then it's like, hey, y'all did all y'all tricks, and okay, now what? Now we know the equation to the satisfaction release. We know the equation, and now this is regimen. It's not as fun as it used to be. We need another person at it. Hey,
you're gonna keep going until you
just got. But so you get down to the root. Like what y'all doing for real? Like what is the true objective? What are y'all trying to accomplish?
Morning, Shadette.
And then it's like it's the Bible says that it is better to serve God by yourself. But if you can't keep yourself, it's better to marry than to burn. Whenever it comes to the decision that, listen, you can do things by yourself more effectively then you can't with somebody else because you don't have to deal with that person's schedule, their time, what they got going on. You can just run and go. I'm out, boom, boom, moving to Atlanta, moving to California. I'm out. Who I got to answer to? Hey, family, I'm gone.
Right.
But when you're in a relationship, you got to equate that with that person. Now it's a 4P person. And who say they ain't got personality disorders? It's a no. It's a whole.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like too, like, can you imagine
The kids.
First off, the kids is confused. I just know they confused. Yes, that's my mother, but that's also my other mother. Oh, they're no. My dad has multiple wives. Oh, okay, or multiple dads. I mean, I don't know. That just gets confusing. And then the second part that I feel like I would be concerned about is, what if he's like the guy is spending more time with one wife versus the other two?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now they're neglected, they feel in some type of way, or even just wild card. What if the wives only want to spend time with each other and they don't want to spend time with the husband?
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but what if she in polygamy? She cheat. Like, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm okay. You got him. I don't
But
even
here's the crazy part about it with polyamorous relationships. This is the funny part. You can only legally be married to one person.
legally
right.
So if y'all was to break up the relationship and they get a divorce, she getting half. You ain't getting nothing.
Right.
Because you are not the first wife. You are the second wife. So technically you are spirit married. Like, so you ain't getting no spirit alimony. Like, see, like for me, I would really just ask the question, because like this question was actually posed to me, like, do you think polyamory is the cure to cheating? And I was like, no. You need to ask yourself why you keep cheating. Like, it's not saying, oh, I'm cool with the girl he's cheating on me with. Matter of fact, let's just bring her in the house, is not going to help him or her, because girls do cheat too,
right,
to stop cheating. It's just now your side piece is in the spare bedroom. Like, it's not definitely a cure. And for the second question, if you are bold enough to cheat on me, don't let me know who they are. Not because I'm going to do something to her, because you're probably lying to her. It's probably because I'm going to call her and we're going to kill you together. Like, we're not going to have this dissension between us because you probably lied to her and told her that you was single. I'm not coming for you, ma'am. Ma'am, do you know he's cheating on us? What? He told me he ain't talking to nobody, so here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to plot to kill you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And I think also, like, it is I'm not a cheater, please. I feel real cheap, guys. Sometimes it is the thrill of being the sneaky link. But when the link is only sneaky, it's not fun. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be in trouble. Okay, I'm married now. I love my wife, and I probably shouldn't say this. You watching?
We won't know until she comments.
Right. And then her name just go pop up like Frank.
Right.
So, unfortunately, we did not do things the proper way in our union of becoming married. But in the beginning of things you should not be doing, it felt fun. Who are you hiding from? I wasn't in a relationship or anything like that. It was just, trying to hide from God. But I know you see me, God, but you know this is not supposed to be happening.
Right.
But then it's like hiding from the pastor, hiding from folks. Like, you shouldn't be out here, boy. But it was little cat and mouse, Not saying that was right. Not saying that I condone. But it was like, oh, we should be doing this. Why are we doing it's fun. Now we're married. It's like, dang, we gotta find time. Now the kids is running around. But I think that sometimes, like, because it is wrong or illegal, makes it fun. But we try to bring it into the house. Hey, it's down this next door. Oh, it's in the same room. Hey.
Right.
You're gonna cause dissension between each other, because if you get mad at your one girl and go to the next room and be like,
right,
yo, she made me mad. Oh, babe, what'd she do? So now y'all like, no.
And all you need is a statement to say, that's why she do it better than you. Big comparison of the cookie chocolate chips, macadamia nut, or sugar cookie. Oh, you go mess around and get your I'm
poisoning your food.
That's
she cooking.
Because that's just, I think that first off, even as far as a cure for, there will never be like a cure for cheating. Cheating happens. Yeah, like cheating happens for so many different reasons. And I think that it just happens for too many different reasons for it to be like, oh, there's a cure for that. I think that even people who are super in love and together, like they could just go through something, and then I confided in so and so, and then this kind of happened. Like, I don't think that it's a one shot deal. I used to have a very strong like holds on certain things, but the older I get, the more I feel like I'm understanding life from a different perspective. So I just think that also too, like even with the polyamorous, like I feel like if I don't believe in that, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's good for you. I don't see the point in all of that. Like I always joke around, like King Solomon literally had 700 wives and 500 concubines. Like, sir, when did you find the time? Like, how?
Now you said something. Now here.
It's like my ticket.
Yeah. Like,
Number 379.
But if you read King Solomon, you read their story, you read their wisdom, he talks about the women. But he also talks how like they were his downfall.
Well, that's what I'm. Yeah. So
he talks about the diversity of culture,
I mean, that's like over 1,000.
Knowledge.
You know what I'm saying?
He got knowledge. He has been through the fire. No, but I think that the ability to deal with a diversity of women, he literally talks about, Songs of Solomon is sexual, sensual. You got a neck like a gazelle. You Babylon. What is happening here? Who are you talking about? He looks like the Tower of Pizza leaning to the left. What are you talking about? But it's but not only that. But then in Psalms and the proverb, a lot of times it really talks about, listen, she can be precious, she can be valuable, she can be ruby. But somebody said something, I look it up, about a man being faithful, but then he talked about, some of them legs is dangerous. Like, some of them things is like the gates of hell, and you in the route, like you may not want to play how you messing around, going to gangster, come out, Erica.
Listen, Erica Badu, you want to see Erica Badu. Every thug that dated Erica Badu is a different man now. They wear tight pants. Andre 3000 went in with cornrows and Pele. He came out with furry pants and a vest. Like, whatever Erica Badu is putting on these men is changing their lives forever. Because how you go from, I'm saying, all right. Like, real, whatever you're doing, Miss Badu.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's Kardashian-ish.
It's
That's what I was gonna say. It made me think of that.
Yes.
Kardashian.
Real Kardashian. You go in one way, come out another.
Because who is it? Lamar
Odom.
And he went in sober and came out a crackhead.
Came out of crack, paying $70,000 for prostitutes.
That's crazy.
My God.
Like, then, like, you coming in male, leaving out female. Things are just happening.
Listen, Bruce went to Caitlyn. Kanye went to more Kanye. Ray J got the herps. It's just a lot. It was a lot. Dang. Yeah, like you gotta watch who you smashing.
Right. Y'all want to play polyology, okay?
And then can you imagine too? Just because I'm just thinking now, like if one of the sister wives or sister husbands go and cheat and don't say nothing, then they catch a disease. And now you got
a 3-wide spread.
Yeah, like, then how you going to go sleep?
Full house.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it's like, so you cheated and gave all of us?
Yeah, like, everybody just over here clapping. Like,
right. You got a group visit to the pediatrician, to the physician.
I was just at the beach.
I was saying pediatrician because she's tired. To the physician, all y'all got a group appointment. Why am I seeing 6 people? Because we all got a problem.
Man, yeah,
that will probably be the cure for cheating still. The fact that you could get a disease, that will probably be.
No, they just wrap up more. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, people.
It's
because
you gotta be a stupid person to be like, I'm gonna fuck this girl, she got AIDS or something. You feel me?
But there are people.
Cookie Johnson,
bro. Be fine, dog. I'm cool, yo. Like,
Cookie is still with magic. No,
but there are people that knowingly have things going on in their body.
Yeah.
And they still say, you know what, I don't care. I'm just gonna go do what I want anyway.
They're in jail right now because I think that one dude like infected like 300 women.
That one white dude who was
No, the one black dude.
the other black dude. Yeah, there was a
but he was just out here smashing women and then blaming them for it. It was like, well, you shouldn't have smashed me. She was like, first of all, we wrapped up, but you didn't even tell me you had anything.
Yeah.
Like, he went to jail.
Yeah, there was this one white guy was purposely having sex with like black women and I think Latino women, something like because he was racist and he had AIDS and he was purposely giving them AIDS to kill them. And I was like, that isn't, and you see every picture. He's literally in all these pictures of all these women, like picture after picture, just. And I think he went to jail also. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he went to jail also. Wow. Which, you know, you shouldn't be going to jail. If you out here giving people AIDS and you know you got AIDS and you just you're literally
passing out AIDS sandwiches
on purpose.
People.
That's just like, oh, like, you might as well just inject these people with whatever. Like, you're doing it on purpose. Like, there's evil intentions behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's messed up. But that's what I was thinking about the polyamorous, because you never know. Like, I just can't picture, right? I think it's enough to deal with just one person. Like, your feelings are intense in just one situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But now you gotta deal with 2, 3 people. Like, I just feel like that's just such a headache.
And then, like I said, it all depends on the dynamic of polyamory too, because some people are in-house, or some people have the agreement that they're gonna date. They're gonna date each other, but gonna date people outside of that. But they'll just tell the other person who they're dating.
Right.
So it's like, oh, if me and this person broke up, I'm gonna come back and tell you that me and them broke up. We're no longer together. But I started dating this dude. So this is the dude I'm dating, but I'm also dating you.
I can barely keep up with who I am and my wife and these kids. We got time to be adding third parties to this situation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or you know what? I got a good question. So, polyamory, no. Do you think you could ever see somebody having like a open marriage and that being like
Will Smith?
No. Not Will Smith and Jada. But yeah, like an open marriage, where people.
I'm sorry to cut you off. My soul is so vexed. It is close. My marriage is close. I wish I would. No. Open, no. No man wants. Listen, it's one thing to walk out into these streets and to hear of an old lover. It was what it was.
Right.
But to walk out to the streets and hear of new opportunities and new lovers. You want me to go to jail. you want me to head crack somebody in the barbershop. You want me. You want me. Ma'am. Okay? Ma'am.
Yeah.
I was Tyra Wood. Come talk about, oh, okay. You be like, preacher goes to jail. Man in jail doing ministry. Yeah, it's me. Hey, y'all. No, I'm not.
I don't see the point of marriage if you're going to have an open.
Right.
Like that it's leaving, the man leaves his mother's father to cling to his wife.
Right.
To becoming one. I don't see the point of being married. If you're gonna get married, if you're gonna be in an open marriage, there's no point of being married. Like just be lifelong boyfriend, girlfriend, lifelong partners. Marriage to me is too holy and has too much involvement for me to be like, by the way, we gonna let these people in our marriage. And plus I have a small jealous streak. So if you like, hey babe, I found the perfect person to bring into my marriage. And
Jesus.
And she's skinny? Oh, I'm gonna roast you back. Wait a minute. You signed up for all this chunkiness and then you brought that here? Oh no. No, break her in half. I'm going to jail. Smack. I personally, I have been working on myself too much to have an open marriage for somebody who feels like I'm not enough to close this marriage. That's my problem. If you don't think I'm enough to close it, don't be with me.
Right.
Go be open and whorish with somebody else. Don't say that you want to enter into holy matrimony and there's nothing holy about it. Because we out here banging other people in this marriage.
I am the closer.
No.
Okay, and open act.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, I think open marriage, I definitely couldn't do open marriage either. because what's mine is mine.
Right.
And, you know, I just don't. I feel the same way as Frank. I will bust some heads open and would think twice about it. So, but I also think too, like there are certain people out there in the world, like I'm not gonna say specific of my friends, but I do have some friends that I could totally see them being in an open marriage, and that they like them and their partner will be totally okay with it because that's their lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like I could see certain people doing that because that's the lifestyle that they're already in. If that makes sense.
Yeah, Monique has an open marriage.
Monique,
the comedian.
Oh, really?
She has an open marriage. Her only stipulation is don't bring that hoe to my house. Like that's her thing. Yeah. You can tell me that you're going, but don't ever bring her to my house.
See, I just feel like even
isn't that kind of ironic though? Like she allowing it, but she's like, I don't want to see it. Cause that's kind of funny though. It's like, you know,
in her mind, you ain't banging her in our bed. You go to her bed. You just ain't come. You ain't.
I just feel like, what's the difference?
Right. I mean, I think the same way.
Yeah. It's like the same shit.
Yeah. So to me, it's dumb. I mean, sorry, Monique, if you watch.
No.
I don't like. I'm saying sorry as in if it hurt your feelings, but I meant what I said. Like I just, for me, I don't. Even watching before it got really messy. Even watching the Red Table Talk situation. Like Jada projected on Willow and was like, I can see you in an open marriage, but not with another man. Like I can see you married to a man, but also having a woman as a wife. And she's like, you know, Mom, I didn't think about that, but I could totally see that now. And I'm like, you just taught your daughter to cheat, cheater. Like, and use the terms open marriage. Like she was just like, because I can't see you just settle down with one sex. Like I know you're very open about your sexual. Like I could totally see you having a husband and a wife. And I'm like,
man, she can go get her a man who is a man's man with feminine and cater both sides at one time.
But there you go.
Jada is just messy.
I didn't realize how messy she was until.
I was just tell you, she's just skinny girl messy.
She
is praying mantis messy. So like what I mean when I say that is like. After the female praying mantis has sex with the man, she bites his head off. She is praying mantis.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, she is very praying mantis style.
And I think it's crazy because I guess like for so long I feel like black people especially always like, oh yeah, I want that Will and Jada love. Like, you know, they're so in love and all this other stuff, and then come to find out like her real actual deep love was Tupac, okay?
Right.
And then on top of that, like she just I don't know.
Disastrous.
Yeah, like she just dog Will out. But then at the same time it's like, Will, where's your balls, man? Like
August took them.
Oh god. And it's like, you know, I don't know, I quit. Because even Tupac,
man,
got her soul, but
I heard some rumors about
yeah, absolutely. And you know, when you look at the scene in the screen, it looks like it could be true. It looks like it could be very much valid. Not surprised, but hey.
So I heard really quick, so I was watching this video, this one guy was talking on a podcast who like was around all these people at that time, would go to the parties and the mansions and all that stuff. You know, weird stuff goes on in Hollywood. Okay?
Yeah.
Supposedly, Tupac was up in there in one of these parties, acting very feminine, and I forgot the man. I think it was P. Diddy that he was like they was holding on to each other. They was going to rooms together.
I can see that because
him and Diddy.
Yeah.
Diddy is very suspect.
Oh, Diddy is 100%. The whole thing that cracks me up about that is because Christina. Well, no. What was the girl that he was married for years? The light skinned girl.
I know who you're talking about. She was cool with Mary J.
Yeah,
she was Mary J. stylist.
Yeah, she straight up would even like when she cut her hair and stuff. They're like, "Oh, why'd you cut your hair?" And she's like, "This is how Diddy wanted me to cut my hair," and that was just it. And then the black girl that from City Girls that has been with him, she like he was gonna change her monthly allowance to what was it, $200,000 instead of $500,000 a month, and she was like she don't want to do she don't want nothing to do with it. And so this one comedian was saying like, what is going on in his household where $200,000 a month is not enough? And I was like, you know, that's good
hush money.
Yeah, like if $200,000 is not enough a month,
She knows that.
something is going on. He raised it back up, like he wanted her there and stuff, but it's just like you gotta be paid $500,000 a month to be with this man. Yeah, he got some demons.
Some real shades of gray stuff going on.
He's been with us for a long time. The industry make it.
I think it's a ritual though, but you know that's a conspiracy.
Fridays at 10 o'clock. Well, you know, maybe at 2 and 10. Okay.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, it's going down. When we get back, we got church message.
We got church.
It's going down. Friday 716. Big Frank in the morning.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Dante Miles, aka D Belly, aka your city councilman. I'm here at Fire 716 Radio, and I'm asking you to tune in on Thursdays at 11 on our show, The Vault. We're going to be having some conversations that's super relevant, but very important. And sometimes it may be a little uncomfortable, but we're going to make sure that we get our voices out. Come tune in on Thursdays at 11 a.m. and make sure you download the Fire 716 app. See you then.
Oh, Kevin was saying, "Era, what's up, family?"
And then when we come back,
this is DMP Speaks coming to you. I am a board certified Christian counselor. I'm also a life coach. I am a family restoration specialist. I help build, rebuild, and grow your family. Maybe you're having some communication problems. Maybe you guys are just yelling and screaming and you guys are just not getting along. And if you want access to me for your 30-minute consultation call, follow me on all my social media platforms. TikTok, Facebook at DMP Speaks. And if you go to YouTube and Instagram, it's at I am DMP Speaks. Download Fire 716 and click the link.
Are you ready to launch your business, but you don't know where to begin? Join the Iberio Business Center online program, which serves the Finger Lakes in Rochester, New York. The business course is offered in both English and in Spanish. Take advantage of the different speakers and their expertise throughout this course. The online program includes a pitch competition, which will assist you with funding for your business. For more information, visit iberio.org or call 716-418-4782.
they never missed a day of hunching, and it was like 6 times a day. And I said, oh wow. And so people were going in.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I am John Smoke. This is DJ Boots, the Beat Bully. And every Friday here on Fire 716 Radio from 7 to 9 p.m., we will be hosting our show, The Back Room, where we play nothing but hit songs out of 716. We'll also have local music news, events, shows, and more. So make sure you tune in every Friday and check out the talent created in our booths and studios. The phone lines will also be open for requests, comments, and more. Thank you for choosing Fire 716. Peace.
Fire 716, your boy Big Frank. You're locked in the Big Frank in the morning. It's going down. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever this may find you across the universe.
I like the echo. You heard that?
Right, the echo was fine.
It's going down. D-Money Mac, Jay Shabby.
In the building.
What's good?
Big Roddy.
Big Rowdy. Big Rowdy.
Big Rowdy. Big Rowdy.
Yeah, not
with
right.
a W. Big Rowdy.
Hey.
We got some church mess happening for y'all.
Church mess. So, Sir Andrew Codwell.
Yeah.
So he's on this show about saved but living certain lives, and he's on the show being his natural effeminate self. I don't know, we ain't gonna do that. But then he gets on social media and attacks the social media for calling him sis, and then makes a shot to try to holler at Kim Kardashian. So he does a video after this broadcast of where he's being effeminate and talking about if a boy wanted, he can get it, and then puts on his man voice, yo, Kim, you know what I'm saying? You want a real man, Sir, pick a person out.
Right, you are confused.
I just need, we all know you still out here doing the butt. Like, we all know
Can I
this.
say this word on air? I want to say it. I can't say that.
You said it.
You can hear it? Oh, man.
They probably did. But, like, we know that you still backing that thing up. We still know. Like, no matter, and then you get on national TV and then get mad when people call you sis. You act like that. You don't act. First of all, you don't act like a real sis because women don't act like that. So you acting like a sissy. To get mad at the church world for coming for you, then get mad at the Church of God in Christ for kicking you out of the women's section of the church. Like, he was sitting with the pastor's wives and got mad that he got kicked out. And then you do this show about Christians that live in a certain way, and you out here living the opposite of what you're supposed to be living. And then, sorry, take a seat.
Ridiculous.
What was this? Well, I'm just confused on what the point of him shooting his shot at Kim Kardashian was for.
Because attention, and plus he figured if he could pull Kim, people won't question his sexuality.
You're going to be questioned until the day you deceased.
I mean,
you suspect.
You can't be bipolar. You can't be going back and forth. Like, hey, yo, what's up? Okay.
And then talking about you gonna start your own deliverance ministry.
how? You gotta get delivered first.
He is delivered.
He's delivered.
So that's the first church mess. Sir Brian Carn.
Just like the headache begins.
He just can't stay out of church mess. So Sir Brian Carn was preaching at a service, got mad, threw a fit at the musicians because he said they were playing music that did not want to get to make people give their offering, and rebuked the musicians.
Oh my goodness. Is this the same guy from before?
Yes.
Like, he's got a beef with the musicians.
So my thing, like, first of all, I watched the clip.
Yeah.
So I was listening to the music. The music was grooving. It was like, okay, you know, that really go around the offering pan. He's like, this is not making people want to give. You need to put music on that's making people give. This is what I'm talking about. You need to be in tune. You need to hear to understand to know what kind of music people want to give. So he shut the music off. It was like, try it again in the middle of service.
That's wild.
I'm sick of him.
That's literally buck wild.
I'm sick of Brian.
I would not have played. I would have just got up
and just walked out respectfully.
Walk into the seats with the other members and just watch the service. Proceed. Because what you're not going to do is disrespect me.
Right. Over and over again.
Right.
I mean,
yeah. Please.
At this point, it just sounds like he's a personal beef with the musicians.
Yeah, I think he has personal beef with himself.
He does. Brian Carn.
I think Brian probably went to Diddy's party.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So,
Him and Kyle Will might have. You know, him and Kyle. I think him and Kyle should be more of a problem, but your behavior is unseen.
Brian has some carnage with it.
Yeah. Brian's Kyle. He's Kyle. He's not trying.
The thing is, and this is for him particularly, this is an example of how you start off and what the wrong kind of hype up people can get.
For
because
sure.
when Brian Carn first came out, he was very humble. He really was like in tune. He really didn't have off prophecies like that. He was just very much like, I'm downloading the voice of God. Once he get around certain people who's like, oh, you're this, you're this, you're this, you're this, you're this, and you can't do any wrong, you can't mess up, you lose your connection with God and to hear the voice of God, and then you get mad when people call you out on your false prophecies. Yeah. You lost your ability to hear when you let people pump you up and make you feel like you're on the same levels of God. And that's what happened with Brian Carn. It's happened with Jamal Bryant. A lot of people who started off one way are not the way that they are. Wine bottom, because I don't call her wine either, because she's like a whole dude. Wine bottom. They all start out the same way. And this is why you have to have the right kind of people surrounding you as well to keep you in a place of humility, because the people will pump you up. People will make you feel like you're this, you're this, you're this, and you lose sight of the being humble before God, and then you start doing stuff that Brian Carn is doing.
Yeah.
Other church mess. I don't really feel like this is messy, but I do want to talk about it. So this pastor of New Faith Christian Church, there was a I want to say he was a leader in the church. His name is Bishop Eusebio Phelps. So he said in the message to this man, he was like, I need you to lift your hands. So the guy lifted his hands. He was like, you're going to mess up. If you keep going down this route, you're going to mess up.
Yeah.
Everything that God promised you, you're not doing what he asked you to do, and it's going to mess it up. And you're going to get to the place where everything that you were promised, you're going to miss it because you're not doing what God told you to do. And he went into the point of saying, how are you going to say that you're serving the people and you can't even help come clean the church?
Oh, yeah.
And the church is roasting this man. How can you say that God's not going to work through him? How are you going to say that he messed up? You speaking this over his life. Let me come from a stance of being under the leadership of Joseph Princeton Jr. I don't see this as a negative rebuke. I see this as a warning. Based on his delivery, he was very open with this guy. It was like, we see what's going on. God is warning you. You're getting ready to lose all the promises. And he said, I don't care that the people are mad at me. I would rather tell you and give you the chance to fix it than not tell you and coddle them and you mess up everything that God called you to do. And the public church is roasting, man, said you could have said this privately. And based on the video, he has. And he was like, God has showed me this. I have to do this. This is uncomfortable for me as a leader because I don't want to put you out here like this.
Right.
But this is what God is saying. I don't think this was like an issue of, because the man was receiving it. He's like, I receive it. You right. I don't feel like the church should really came for this pastor. First of all, if you don't know the dynamic of what was going on previously, but if the guy had the pastor address this privately and God is sending another word of warning and it's a public warning now, I really feel like this is a check and not messy. The church feels like this pastor was being messy and it was on social media, it was streaming live, and he was wrong and there was other ways of dealing with it. I see it differently. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Diaz. Feel free.
No. Go ahead.
I personally don't think that it was wrong. I think that with leadership, it comes with responsibility. The after private conversation, the way I felt like he addressed it was like, listen, I know you got prophetic words. I've been here for them, but you can't be a wonder out here and not do what needs to be done here at home. So I don't care. You can preach, do all these things, but like you're gonna mess this up because there are essentials that's a part of development. That if you don't get these, you're gonna get out there. You might go sky high, but you're gonna fall just as fast because you haven't put the work in and the responsibility. And sometimes, I hate to say this, that sometimes it requires a more of an aggressive approach. And it's like, we had private conversations. I done talked to you like, we done had back room. And the fact that he said, I don't want to do this, is like, hey,
he was like, I'm being obedient to what God is saying. Like, God was he basically said that he was going to address this again privately from what I'm getting from the video. But he was like, God told me I need to say this to you now. So y'all can feel the way that you want to feel this. He was like, but I have to be obedient to the voice of God. And because I've been on I'm not going to just say with Bishop, I've been under 2 other leaders outside of Bishop. And I understand the significance of the moment where this is a warning that can save your life. And it may not be in the private way of how you wanting it, but if God is speaking it, I'm going to speak it. And every time we have to speak, it may not always be comfortable. And I've had to give uncomfortable words publicly where I'm like, God, I could have told this person this privately.
Right.
But like God was like, you need to speak it and you need to speak it now. So I don't knock this man for his obedience. What I don't like is that we can come for this man for being obedient, but we condone other things. Because if he had done it another way, if he didn't say anything and something fell, well, that's his leader. Why did his leader check him? You know what I'm saying? So like for me, this wasn't a rebuke to hurt him. And the man received it. The man was like, you're right. I hear you. Like, he wasn't offended. It was the outside people outside of the situation that was offended. But what are your thoughts?
I think that at the end of the day, if you had the private conversations, you pulled them to the side, you did you gave him signs, okay, after all of that, and he's still not getting it, like, sometimes you just gotta cuss people out. I'm not saying that you cuss them out, but, you know what I mean, like, sometimes, if it's just not clicking in all these ways, then you just gotta take it left. Like, you just got to, like, there's no other way this person is receiving it, so I feel like the man understood and he received. They were good. I feel like it's just everybody on the outside is just they need to mind their business a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get that you could feel some kind of way because you're seeing this go down, but you don't know the other things that's happened. So, you know, take it in stride and move forward with your life.
Yeah, that's legit because back in the day when prophets used to come, they didn't always come with good news. Like, y'all get fancy out the house, the car, the clothes, God's going to do it. No, listen, if you don't change your behavior, your conduct, your structure, you're going to mess this up.
Because I've seen situations it was like, I already know y'all sleeping together. Just know that the next time y'all do it, she gonna get pregnant. So either you gonna abstain or you gonna marry. Right. It's going like, and they was just looking like the one girl was like, "Oh my god!" Like the dude was just embarrassed because it was just like, "Yo, he know our business," and she ended up getting pregnant. But like every news isn't gonna be good news. But it was like sometimes I feel like if God's taking you to the extremes of public exposure, it's really to keep you from truly downfalling. Right. Yeah.
Because after that is just okay. You about to learn this lesson.
Right.
And that's just that. So.
Because I got it before, you know, when I was out here in these streets, I got a word that was like the next it was the person said to me, God had to snatch you and take you to New York because the next person you slept with would have gave you something that would have killed you.
Oh man,
and I was like, what? Like my sigh of relief was like, yo, I know exactly what night it was, and for some reason I kept saying, you know what, nah, I just don't feel like doing it. I could have caught something if I had ignored those feelings. So I definitely get it. This last church mess to me, I was screaming, laughing, and watched this video 10 times. So this prophet, he's African. He was saying, like, he was giving this word. He was like, before I give this word, the Lord is telling me you need to get a seed of 5,000 in your hand or 7,000 in your hand and run to the altar. Run to the altar. Run to the altar. He was like, if you're on the back, run to the altar with your seed of 5,000, 7,000. You have to sow the seed before you're getting the word. Nobody moved. So he was like, if you don't have the 5,000, the 3,000, run to the altar. Run to the altar. Like, and everybody in the congregation was just like to the point that he almost started crying. Because he was just like, I need to release the word, but you people are not being obedient. You need to release the money. In the Bible, they paid the prophet. You need to release the money. And like, the end of the video was literally him like wiping off his forehead and like walking off the stage because nobody was giving up this 3,000, 5,000, or 7,000. Like, they were looking him dead in his face. He was like, this is an act of faith. You have to operate in an act of faith. If you're not operating in this faith, you're not going to be able to get this word. And they was like nobody moved. Like, I thought it was going to be at least one person.
I would have felt bad. Like, put you know, like a couple dollars in the envelope. Here you go, pastor.
Like, when I tell you, nobody moved. Like, it was not. Nobody dropped a 20. Nothing. Like, it was just like, he was like, this seed, he's like, you guys don't have the faith. You're not operating in your faith. He was like, for those who are sowing the 7,000 seed, you don't know what's coming down the line. They was just like, I guess we just ain't gonna know. Like, they was just straight looking at this man like, that's when he dropped out of 3,000, I was like, he about to break. Yeah. Like,
at this point, he might as well just say $20.
Like, they would like, and it was a church of like, I'm not gonna lie, like no lie, like almost 500 people.
Oh my god!
Nobody moved. The people in the front, he was eyeballing the people in the front row. They was like eyeballing him back.
Somebody on TikTok said, "Yo, I got $5."
You be like, just get your best seed.
Yeah, because at that point, like, I feel like, okay.
He's like, I hear the Lord.
Here's the thing. We're laughing and stuff like that, but people do this in church today. They just don't say 5,000. They say $100.
Depends on what denomination you're talking about.
Right. So it's just like, you know, and I feel like I just can't agree with that. Like, I feel like, you know, that just, like, he could have, I feel like if he would have just said, I have a word for y'all today, but we're going to start this off with, you know, come up here and give what you have. 500 people, he could have got to 5,000, you know, whatever. But I think it's just an approach. You can't just ask people to drop 5 bands at church. Like that's like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's some churches where people do that. I'm sure. But yeah, no, that's just not realistic. Like,
and I mean, that's the thing. Like, I have been to a service where they were like, there's $1,000 seed in this house. And I have literally seen somebody walk up to the altar
and give
the $1,000. It was never a this is suspect type of situation. Like, I remember the promise. It was like, you sowed $1,000 seed. There's a blessing attached to it. I was one of the first people to sow $1,000 seed, and I have never been broke. Like, it was just like promise after promise. Scholarships, I got scholarships to school. And it wasn't like, oh, the money opened up the door. The obedience to what God was asking for opened up the doors. With this person, I feel like he's had a history of doing this.
Yeah.
And so this church was like, he probably figured, I can go to this church. They got about 500 people in this church. I'm going to make bank. He was like...
That's why he was standing up there with them tears in his eyes.
He was just he's like, well, I can't. He was like wiping off his forehead. Well, I'm not going to be. I can't be obedient or reach the Lord because you guys were not obedient, and walked off. And I'm like, you thought
the message clearly wasn't that important. If nobody came, but like, I didn't send nobody. The message wasn't real. Like,
right.
He probably thought he was probably going home with like $100,000.
Right.
And
He probably being greedy. Get out of it all that $7,000.
he probably left and was like, dang, I don't even know how I'm gonna get home now. Like, nobody.
But there's people who definitely pimp people. I don't like the lines. $100 line, $50 line.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I feel like you should give what you are able to give.
Yeah.
If he would have delivered it that way, I'm sure people would have got up. Here's $1, here's $5, here's $10.
Like, I get that now. I'm very, she knew my house. As far as spiritual, and I believe that God will give an unction to challenge faith. And the biggest challenge has always been financial. It's just what it is. I got bills to pay. I got something to do. You want to do what? It's gonna be a challenge there. Like, God, like, how much do you trust me as God? Not even just the man who talking. It's beyond you.
Right.
Father God, what are you saying? That do I trust you? Yes. How much do you trust me? And that level of obedience. But there are definitely people who are there who are stealing from the folks, being petty, hustling
hard, man.
Hustling the people. And
I have never not seen the fruit of my sacrifice.
Right.
That's how I knew it was led by God.
Right.
Like, I remember I was toiling. We was at Whirlpool. I was toiling about giving this money. I was like, and Bishop Clean was on the other side of the church. I was like, if I don't make eye contact with him, he won't know I'm toiling. And like, he didn't even look at me. He was walking, turned this way, and was like, there's somebody on this side that is toiling about giving this seed. He was like, you have no idea what is being held up right now because you sitting here toiling. He didn't even look. And I was just sitting there like, let me get this. During the service, I got a deposit for school on a Sunday. They don't even do business on a Sunday.
Right.
Like, and it was like, I got the email in service and I was just like, like, but the whole time I was toiling for like 10 minutes. I was like, yo, I can't get this because I got to get gas. And it was just like money ended up meeting me before I even left the church.
Yeah.
So like, once I got to like certain people, I know I asked God to give me discernment on who's trying to hustle me and who's real. And anytime that I've ever sown in faith, it has always met me and surpassed me. This guy wouldn't have got 50 cents from me because clearly you hustling and I got a problem with you. And the fact that you almost cried walking off the stage because you ain't get what you thought you was going to get. Further confirmed.
In the audience, you gonna cry in the car.
His grandmama gave me that change. Like, he was just really like, I think, congratulations to the 500 people in that church.
Right.
That was like, nah, nigga.
That was the Lord holding them back.
They was just like,
yeah. God was like, I didn't know, this is mess.
because he was like, run to the front with your seed. No, like, the only people I saw stand up was the leadership of that church.
Right.
Like, and I don't even know if they gave. I think they just stood. Like, everybody else was just like.
I just hate, like, not hate, but when I'm in church and like the person that's preaching like they start saying certain things and then they look directly at you and it's like, oh, okay, you're talking about me. or they ask me, I was trying to avoid, like, they be like, yeah. I feel the spirit, somebody today's gonna start giving. Looks directly at me. You don't look at me.
Listen, because I can hold you.
No,
Some days I
yeah.
look like money, some days I look like a real. But they be like, I know you got it, man of God, you man of God.
Right.
I couldn't give it if I tried. I couldn't reach for it if I had it. If it was accessible, I don't have it. But,
Like, y'all gonna be mad I put these 2 pennies in here.
Y'all gonna be mad if I put this bounce check up in here.
I never forget. Somebody preached a message and they was asking for, it wasn't 716. Whatever it was, it was supposed to be in the hundreds. But they wasn't saying hundreds, they just kept saying like 716. My friend, I got $7.16.
Right now.
Right now. That's 716.
Man.
I'm in the number. So I get in line. All right, 716. I got it. He got it. That's 1432. Okay, we moving. Then he say 706. I'm in the wrong. I'm in the wrong line.
You was just missing. You was off by
A decimal, that's all.
That's it.
I need an envelope. No. Y'all can see me drop this. I need an envelope. And I shouldn't have put it in the air. $760 in. I
got 716. You wasn't specific when I put this in this envelope.
You wasn't talking right in the beginning.
No, I literally was at a service where it was maybe about 10 of us in this service, and they was like, "We got this goal to meet." Da, 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 da. And I gave my little seed, and he was like, "Oh, we about $300 short. I know y'all got it." And sat there and just looked at me. I looked right back.
This lady at this mall.
We go have a staring contest. I'm gonna win.
This lady at this church, she was a visitor preaching at a small church on Highland, close across from 3 M's, and that's me, Lionel, I think it was, and Keith up. Me, Bishop went just to go visit. And she's like, "Man, God, I know you got money, and God's gonna bless you, yada yada yada. I need you to sow. I need you to sow." She said, and Keith, we ain't got it. We came to support the bishop.
Right.
To support y'all. She made me ask some people in that room. Then people gave us money. Like $20 here, $20 there, 15 here, 5 here to sow the seed that she was asking for. I said, don't be using me as a catalyst for your.
I am rich in spirit.
Right. The finances has not quite manifested because they'll stare me down because like the people were getting up and giving like a second offer. They're offering. I ain't moved. Me and my sister, we was both sitting there. They was like, "We know y'all. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice." Me and my sister was just both looking at them like.
I feel like
No.
if I had it, like if I had deep pockets, I would like it would never be a question.
Absolutely,
You know what I'm saying?
for
Like
sure.
it would just be, matter of fact, I'm gonna take it a step further. Like I'm gonna get stuff fixed at the church. I'm gonna help, take care of some other things. I always said like if I ever had the money, I would just straight up take care of the bigger bills at my church and just put in the things that we talked about. Like, obviously, but man, just not there yet.
That was not in my budget. I had a daily budget. I'm gonna give y'all this $20. And then me and my sister going to Applebee's after we leave here. And we also gonna go get some gas. I am not giving you my Applebee's money, and I'm sure enough not giving you my gas money. So you gonna take this 20 and be happy with it. And he was just like, he was like, I know some of y'all gonna have to meet. Me and my sister looked at each other like, yep. Like we not sacrificing Applebee's money. No.
So I was reading this thing that was talking about like Catholic churches, and I don't know if you know this or not, but I was reading this thing. They were talking about Catholic churches that the Catholic churches put insurance policies on their congregants,
Smart.
and then that way, like when they pass, the insurance money goes to the church.
Yeah.
Like they're still giving offerings even when they're not here.
Yeah.
So for me, that is actually wise.
Yeah.
I think because if we're gonna put the policy, we're gonna take care of that, and that's how you got those mega churches, big churches. That's what they do.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that's wise, not only just for church, but while I'm here for family, like there's no reason why you shouldn't have a policy on your grandmother, your mother, your aunt, and them. When something happens, they ain't gotta pay for nothing. I'll cover it. I just want you to know that I got it. Something happens, if I help out, you help out, but I got the rest. But what happens is, even after they transition, that there is a still, because we have the policy, that's how we stay out of debt.
Yeah.
And that's really how wealth happens for a lot of people.
And that's
but some it's better. She gone. They still. Yes, we are.
this
Because she was
for her.
Because she was a giver, and she has a picture on the mall and a plaque.
She gave more after she left than she was here. We're like grateful for what? That's terrible. But it's
we thank her for her death diligence.
Oh my gosh.
Then the family get mad at you. How y'all get all that? Oh, you didn't have a policy on her?
Right, like what?
Not your. And for me, and I say this too, there are families who don't, and this is what I say, is that if we did do a policy on the family member of the church, we'll cover the funeral. We'll cover those expenses. Those funeral expenses in that repast, we got you. You ain't got to worry about that element. We'll cover it.
Yeah.
But after that, no. We covered it.
We took care.
We took care.
Because some consistency happens. I'm putting a policy on my dad. He's 72.
Yeah.
Like, because first of all, me and my father had the policy conversation. I looked at the number. It was like, sir, you getting cremated. Like, this, what you're asking for and what you're leaving me?
Two different things.
Two different numbers.
Yeah.
But no, like, and he said that. He was just like, he's like, I wanted to put you in a space of being comfortable. And I was like, in order to be comfortable, I'm going to be putting a policy on you. Yeah. Not just because he's 72, but also because my father is very... I can say a lot about my father, but a lot of what he is diligent about is making sure his kid and his granddaughter are secure when he transitions. Mm-hmm. Like, that's why he paid off his truck in a year. Mm-hmm. That's why he's currently trying to pay off the house now. He was like, if anything happens to me, you have someplace to go and you have something to drive. Like, and so I do give him credit for that, but I also explained to him that average funeral is like $10,000.
Yeah, it's expensive.
And I think that when you understand a life policy on somebody, that it's not saying, oh, you just about to die by capitalize off your death, but it's really like, listen, there's a benefit.
Right.
Like, there's a benefit. That sounds bad to your death. But what it is like, hey, if something happens, we're not trying to do a GoFundMe. We ain't just sell dinners. That we're covered to handle what needs to be handled. And not only are you covered, but any bills left over.
Right. We don't know how much debt you had.
Right. And I think that we, as a culture, we don't think like that. I don't put anybody on blast. Somebody was like, I want to put a policy on you, but why? Why not?
Right.
It doesn't hurt you.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt you. That there's no reason why I shouldn't have one on my grandmother, my mom, my sister, my brother. Who knows what might happen?
Right.
But have a policy on them and they start them off young. It would be preferred. What's $5 for the rest of your life?
Right.
To a $50,000 or $500,000 policy, depending upon how you're living.
Yeah, that's
but it's
true.
like, hey, all right, Dad, we had this situation happen, unexpected, but I'm not worried about the expenses because it's covered. We have it. It's done. You just waiting for the check to come in. And here it is. Here you go, Undertaker people. But we don't, Undertaker. Here you go. But that's a real conversation. Like I got my family, we covered. We got life insurance on all of us because it's like, yo, who knows what's gonna happen to me?
Right.
My wife. Accident happen with children. You never know.
Yeah.
What could be? So be ready, be prepared. So
because we tired of paying your GoFundMes.
Yeah.
We really are, and that's even though people came for me, but I'm not sensitive. People came for me when I said, I hope that you have an insurance policy on your life if you're paying $1,500, $2,000 for a Beyonce ticket.
Oh, valid.
And they was like, this is different. I'm like, no, because if you can afford $2,000 concert ticket, make sure you have life insurance.
Your priority should be in
right, because if something happened to you at that concert, your family GoFundMe.
Right.
In Rochester, she's lost her life. Two people.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. And it just seems like more and more these concerts. Seems like every concert something bad happens.
Becoming the new normal.
I guess it's becoming the new normal. And speaking of Beyonce, did y'all watch real quick? I just got to bring it up. Did y'all watch that Swarm?
No.
TV show? Okay.
I heard about it, and I heard about the situation with Chloe, and unfortunately, I saw the video, and I was like, oh.
So I binge watched the whole season because it's like a TV show. And like I said, I think this is part of my depressive mood because that show was, there's some energy in that show for sure. It was really crazy. It's clear that they're talking about Beyonce.
Yeah.
It's very clear, like very clear. But what they did was each episode talks about a different, like a real life murder, but they're using like one character to kind of act out the different situations. And so I find it, I just find it always creepy when it's real life situations. Because it's like these are real people that went through these situations. But the way that the main character was and how obsessive she was over Beyonce.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert to some people. But how over obsessive she was over not Beyonce but Nyjah.
Yeah.
The character. I just think that I can see this as like a real thing because people really go that hard into paint. Like you guys, people searching up folks' address on the internet just because they said something bad about the person. That,
Right.
You know, like that just to me, and even the energy that the person in the TV show clearly, like I said, represented Beyonce.
Yeah.
It's just very like, I don't know.
And
It's
her
just,
protege is in the show.
right.
So
it's just like I feel
Chloe
like
is her protege.
Yeah.
I just find it, I don't know. I have a conspiracy, of course, with Beyonce because there's just certain things that. It's just
I
too
mean,
much.
she was like, she did an interview and was like, I can't control the loyalty of my fans. And she was like, you know, I can't tell. She was like, I've said, you know, it's okay for people to not like me. It's like, she was like, what can I do to really stop my fans from being who they are? But at the same time, like,
No, because here's the thing. I'm sorry, I'll cut you off. You're going out and you're doing these performances and you're doing all these things, but you're putting yourself as a deity. Okay, there are many concerts that she did where she's representing Isis or some other goddess, and she's like putting herself as a deity. You cannot put yourself as a deity and then the spirit not come. Like that's the whole shebang of it.
well, then,
So-
you know, she blamed that on her alter ego, Sasha.
I mean, but
So, like for me, I respect her as an entertainer. I didn't really, while everybody is raving about Renaissance, I didn't like the fact that she said she would wipe herself with Bible scriptures from the Bible.
yeah,
Like I don't, like
that's the second time she said it then.
Yeah.
'Cause she also said
did
it in the
what?
limits.
she said she will wipe herself from. She calls it from pages from the Holy Book.
Yeah.
Like
She would plug her
Kunana?
up with the Bible scriptures to stop her
Her
flow.
period.
Girl, good night.
That's what I'm
You get
saying.
that newspaper out of your cook addict.
So she was like, you know, I don't mind writing myself with pages from the Holy Book, like stuff like that. As an entertainer, she's an entertainer. That's the only respect she really has for me.
You start evoking these emotions out
Yeah.
of people purposely, and then it's like, oh well, I don't know why they're acting crazy. Let alone you're doing things to invoke people to make them feel this way towards you. Like that's
I feel
I'm
like
not a
she
fan.
is going to be, and I'm not speaking this over her life, but I feel like she's going to end up being another celebrity prophecy. So I'll explain. Tupac said, I've done everything but die. Shortly after that, he died. Biggie's album, Life After Death, died.
Yep.
Aaliyah said she had a dream that she was in a swamp and snakes were surrounding her body. When they found her body after the plane crash, she was in a swamp and snakes were surrounding her body. You keep putting yourself and putting stuff like this out there, words manifest. So if you say, I will chant and I can see myself ascending to another place. You may ascend to another place, it's not the place that you think you're going to ascend to.
Right.
I really feel like the more you keep speaking something, the more it will manifest. And, to say that you're beyond this and you're higher than this, and you can see yourself and you've had conversations with the devil, you might end up being with the devil. Like, you got to really watch yourself and stop going under the guise of this is another personality and, I'm still a Christian.
So and I think too, even as far as the words that you say, I was just telling Big Rowdy this, I was just telling my grandma this. Like the guy I was watching, Myron, he was saying about a science experiment. Real quick, I'm gonna try to break it down. So the science experiment, I don't know if you guys have heard of this before, where he just took some regular water and he put it in 2 different petri dishes. One petri dish had positive words.
Yeah,
on
I saw
it.
this before.
Okay, so you know, and one had negative words on it, and then he froze them, and then he looked at the crystalline structure under a microscope. The one that had positive words was beautiful, and they were, you know, perfect form crystals. Like the structure, the molecules of them were perfect. And the one that had the negative words was bad, like it was chaotic and messed up, and the structure looks bad. So it's just like, you know, and basically, long story short, he was just saying, like, if words written down on, like, obviously words can't hear, words can't think, like they're words. But if they can change the molecular structure of water,
Right.
so, and we're made up of 70% water, then what do you think the words that you're saying or words that are being said to you is doing to your own body? So it's just like, you know, you do have to watch what you say. God created everything from his words. Right. So it's like, you know, your words have power. That's why I was even telling my brother, I said, you need to watch. I get that we do the conspiracy thing. I get that you're trying to understand the symbols and signs and like, you know, like we have our little training thing. But you have to step out of that. Because if not, you think that you're above it, but you're just having the same thing happen to you as everybody else. Like,
and that's
stuff is
like, even with bigger crime, you have what you put the most energy into investing in. If you're spending 80 hours a week on conspiracy theories and 10% on the word, what you put your energy in is going to manifest.
Yeah.
Like even if it doesn't have to be spiritual, whatever you invest in the most is going to manifest. Yeah. I can say, hey, I'm watching these episodes on weight loss, but if I'm sitting here spending most of my days eating, what I'm doing is going to manifest. So this is my segue into my final thought. Perfect. So you have, like I said in Big Girl Chronicles, you really have to ask yourself, what are you putting your energy in? Because what you're putting your energy in is going to manifest. I feel the spiritual difference from where I was spending time with God a lot and how I let school and life and energy affect my time with God, where I am more anxious. I do have more ups and downs. Mm-hmm. I'm not as consistent in my emotional space because my energy is going someplace else. So you can't, my final thought is watch where you're putting your energy. It could be a toxic relationship. It could be a bad friendship. It could be negative family members. If you keep putting your energy into these people, you can't be mad when other things aren't manifesting.
Right.
Yes, you can cut family off. Let me kill this rumor. If they are toxic and they are unhealthy, it is okay to cut them off. Stop that blood is thicker than water, because I got some people who are not biologically connected to me, that's closer to me than my own family. So my words of wisdom, invest your energy in the right thing, and that's where your creation and production will happen.
Right? What you got for the people?
You gonna say your final word?
Me?
Yeah.
Like regarding the topic?
Whatever your final words are.
Just encouraging the
My
people
final
or
word?
something.
Yeah.
Well, yo, I hope everybody keeping it real out here. I don't know, that's kind of it, yo.
Big Ryder said keep it real. Yeah. Stop being fake.
Yeah, facts. I just want to say, like I just said with the words thing, you know, speak life. Like, speak life to people, speak positive to people, you know, try not to put people down and say negative things. Like, that's one of the biggest things that I try to do, even just young in high school and different things like that, is I always try to compliment people and different things like that, because I feel like, you know, you have the ability to change somebody's entire day, entire week, just from the things that you say to them. So if you're able to turn somebody's week around just by being nice, be nice. Like, it doesn't hurt to be nice. And so that's my final word.
Big Frank?
Well, be anxious for nothing. Everything has a time and a season. But while you wait, do what they said, speak life. Speak positive. Sometimes while we wait, we can develop a negative conversation, which only adds weight to the wait. So I encourage you to speak positive, speak life, but be anxious for nothing, for God's timing. For the Bible says that time and chance happeneth to us all. It's Big Frank in the morning. I'll holler at y'all. We'll be back on Wednesday. And we'll be doing all we can. And we'll be better with our audio and everything. Back whenever left is going down. Big Frank in the morning. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yeah. All right. I gotta get to the point.
Frank, can you send me all the stuff? Like, I know this might be a lot. You don't have to do it today, but when you get a chance. Because I just got the email for the Hanley Holding.
Yes.
But I wanted to do to my D Chanel Studios. I want to change it over to all D Chanel Studios so that way my paper trail is now through my business.
We gotta keep checking the fire